Mr. Bombös, welcome in Italy for the 8th European EAE meeting. We would like to discuss with you about the European ethics market. What is your overall point of view of a European market at the moment?
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation to Florence concerning your question. Ethics, I think, is still a growing market in Europe. The development of the ethics market in the different countries is sometimes quite different, but in general still growing. And we think that ethics are in the meantime well adopted solutions to play a major role in the part in improving energy efficiency in buildings. We also realize an increasing awareness of saving heating energy in new and in old buildings. And finally, ethics have also positive ecological effects. Ethics can create jobs, can increase the living comfort and help to prevent energy poverty when prices for oil and gas are raised constantly.
This is, of course, a very important contribution to the European targets for reducing CO2 emissions and energy consumption. But you said that there are different stages of development in different markets. We guess that Northern and Central European countries are more developed. What is your opinion? Are there opportunities also in other emerging countries like Italy?
Well, I think there is a very easy answer on this, because ethics help saving energy in two ways. If we have a closer look on the European map, in the mid and northern countries, which we could define as the more colder areas, there ethics reduce the energy consumption for heating the buildings, and they prevent the loss of the heated energy inside to the outside. Now we have a look on the southern part of Europe, which we could address as the more warmer areas. And there, ethics can help reduce energy consumption of air condition because it reduces the energy flow from the warm outside to the cooler inside. Mm-hmm. So it has a double function. And I think sometimes people do not realize it. They only think for the colder solution.
Yeah, it's true. Considering what has been done in terms of insulation in Europe and how much is left to do, which are the contributions given in the recent years by the EAE Association, and which is the project for the future you have?
Well, I still see a big gap between the political demands and the reality, what we see in the big field of buildings and housing. On the one hand side, Europe wants to reduce carbon dioxide emissions and energy consumption by 20% by the year 2020. Too many buildings, that's what we know in Europe, are still very poorly insulated and consume a lot of energy. And if we want to reach these political aims in terms of the insulation rate of buildings, have to be raised quite much. Let me give you an example with my home market, Germany. At the moment, we have a yearly insulating rate of something around 42 million square meters of facade areas what are covered with ethics. This is rate concerning the whole possibilities of something around 1.2, 1.3%, what we cover year by year. To reach the targets also of our government in Germany, we should have a rate of about 2 to 2.5%. So now calculated backwards into the square meters, that would mean an annual insulating consumption of about, let's say, 80 to 100 million square meters. So just to show the gap. And we, from our association, we will outline the system approach. These are targets of our association, the system approach, because this only guarantees the quality of ethics. We will influence the standardization process, what we just recently discussed in our meeting. We will work on and support the best and the correct application of ethics, because we always have to remember, from side of the industry, we only support with the products. But from the point of view of the investor, the final product is the applicated system at the wall, and therefore is the hand of the applicator necessary. So therefore we also support this. And there I want to point out especially Cortexa's initiative in transforming our application guideline into a national document which is distributed to a whole lot of applicators all over Italy. That's a great initiative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bombös. And you talked about the example in Germany, which is a consolidated market. But what do you think we can do in order to promote the use of ethics in other countries? What can be done?
Well, first of all, it is necessary that politicians, people who have influence in the different countries, realize in their head, realize the need of reducing energy consumption, especially for heating. That's first. Second, I claim for it that also governmental institutions, other institutions should help and convince their people, commercial people, homeowners, in the necessity of improving the buildings concerning energy consumption. Next is that the process should be supported by individual programs, for example, subsidies, tax reductions. And then we have a wide difference between the countries in Europe. We have some countries where the energy efficiency is supported by programs. We have other countries, no support. So this could be in help. And also what I ask for always is make the technical requirements as easy as possible and as harmonized as possible. We talk since 20 years of the harmonization of building products in Europe, but from my point of view, I think up to now we are far away from that. And this also could help a lot in implementing ethics all over Europe.
Yeah. Well, we are experiencing in Europe, but all over the world, an economical and financial crisis. Do you think this will affect the market of ethics, or is this more an opportunity?
From my point of view, it's more or less an opportunity, because however stock exchange and things like that go up or down, the people will feel if they have to spend too much money for the easiest thing of the world, for a warm home. So therefore I think it will, first of all, not affect too much. It will be an opportunity for the future, but I see, well, two risks, especially concerning ethics or energy optimizing activities. And ethics is a long-term investment, and it's very difficult to convince somebody to put in money in a long-term investment. And it is necessary that the people trust in ethics, that they trust in the reliability, in the function, and in the durability of these systems. And if there arise forces which talk against these issues, then that can be a little bit difficult. The second is the quality aspects. And we argue for well-developed products, for well-tested systems, for the best application, because only this guarantees also in future the quality of the system. And now the circle is closed again, and this again helps to position ethics as a quality product where you can trust and rely on.
Mr. Bombös, the last question. What is your opinion about this Italian meeting?
Well, there is a lot to say. First of all, it showed again that our association, the EAE, becomes more and more vital. This Italian meeting proved it impressively. And I also would like to admit that our host, Cortexa, set up a very best framework in choosing a beautiful location, in choosing very interesting guest speakers, and in all the hosting activities they provided. And I think especially the guest speakers were an enrichment for all of us, and they provided new impulses also for our future work. The meeting again also strengthened our community within the EAE. Please consider the participants who are in there together at a table. They are competitors in daily business, but they all aim on one target. They aim on the target, save heating energy by insulating our homes and buildings. Yeah. So to conclude, I'm quite optimistic for the future of ethics. EAE will contribute and support European political goals. We support standardization work of ethics, which is at the moment undergoing. We support the idea of the system, which means testing, proving, application, always as a building system in total. So to conclude, it was, I think, for all of our participants, a great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bombös, and have a safe trip back to Germany.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.